So, moving to LA. Thoughts of moving to LA. When is a Mid-Atlantic actor ready, willing, and able to do that? And so
Yes.
let's see what Erica has to say about that.
I think slow, sure-footed, methodical is the best way to ensure success and upward movement. So if someone moves prematurely, there is a greater risk to kind of get caught in the non-working actor status, which is miserable. And then that's a vicious cycle of being depressed and not getting work, and it goes on and on. So I think the smartest thing to do would be work until you are busting at the seams and there are seemingly very few opportunities in your area. So if you're a Mid-Atlantic actor, you've booked most of the shows that are in the Mid-Atlantic region, and you have an amazing headshot. You have demo reel from those shows that you've booked. You are then ready, perhaps, to get an agent if you don't already have one. If you have one, great. Does that agent cover Los Angeles? Or, I dare say, there might be a stepping stone where you first move to Atlanta, which is really hot right now, as they say, Hotlanta, right? And then move to Los Angeles after that. So skip to a bigger market, but don't try to jump 6 rungs on the ladder all at once. Make sure you're sure-footed. But that's also my style of business growth and whatnot. Make sure it's sure, solid, bursting at the seams, and then you can go to a larger market.
Right, and I'm just going to say it in a different way. This particular decision, a lot of the times, is emotional, and it needs to be professional and businesslike, and that's what I think Erica is saying. And this idea of moving to Atlanta is you always have to keep in mind the competition in LA, the sprawl of LA. And so it's really good advice to be able to go out there with an agent, which means that everybody in your area, all the casting directors know your work. I mean, you really move to that level. That's our best.
I dare say that you must have an agent to move to LA. I mean, it's that important.
Yeah, and we're saying this, and this might in fact discourage some of you or be frustrating for some of you because, okay, how can I get an agent? Well, the point we're trying to say is that if you get out there without an agent, you have years and years of struggle ahead of you. Yes. There really is. There's no question about that.
And we don't wish that for you.
Yeah, and so the best bet is if you're really thinking about something, and it's a big business move to move out there, that you really, really have explored this fully and you're ready to be competitive, or you're going to be doubling your effort back there and maybe, in fact, taking major steps backward.
Exactly, and there are so many, and this is for many different areas, but there are really basics about LA. Like you have to have a car, a really great car that does not break down, where you can travel to auditions and whatnot. Although I just heard of one actor who rode his bike everywhere, which I can't believe. You need a pretty big back pocket full of money, a bank account, because you can count on spending months getting your first audition.
Right.
That is not unheard of. That's not unsuccessful if you have 3 months of 0 auditions. If you have 3 months and then start getting auditions, that means you're doing your work really well. So you've got to be able to pay your rent and all these things. And getting jobs that are flexible enough to go to auditions in Los Angeles are incredibly competitive. You would think that, maybe coming from the Mid-Atlantic, I can get a waitress job. It's really, really competitive to get a job that's flexible.
So one of the things we really are seriously suggesting to you is that if you're, say, I need to move out of this area, to really, really research Atlanta, really. And don't see this as a stepping stone, but as that particular kind of move is going to, in fact, give you that range and opportunity to take that next step.
Exactly. And there's Chicago.
Yes.
There's New York. There are bigger markets than the Mid-Atlantic market that one could thrive in, and then in a few years think about Los Angeles if that is. But with production and technology constantly moving locations these days, I think even more so than previous, which I find fascinating. Los Angeles is not necessarily the end all be all anymore like it used to be. It might be again though. Things change.
And so an actor friend of mine said it maybe rather succinctly when he said, you can really seriously get lost in LA. Whereas if you have a great gift and a talent, then in a smaller market, you might be a standout there and get more work that way.
Exactly.
That's another
and that only
strategy.
helps you, yeah. So I think if you decide to move to Atlanta or Chicago, which are very equivalent in my mind markets in a lot of ways, or even New York, the idea of having enough credits on your resume, enough experience to then have a demo reel is really that tipping point for me. If you are able to put together a demo reel, then you have something which you can share with an agent so they will sign you because it gives them tools to be able to sell you.
The final thing I will say is that if there's another possibility, and this is the point about LA, can somebody help you? Do you have enough experience to open the doors that need to be opened to be there? Sometimes you have a contact that can give you a next step up.
Exactly, because this business, the bottom line of this business is it's networking, it's who you know and how you can get in the door. And once you're in the door, you better have the chutzpah and all of the tools to be amazing at what you do. But getting in the door is the part we're talking about that's uber challenging unless you have ways in.
You have it.
Moving to LA.
Right.
We support it, but be ready.